Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising for October 2020. I hope you're all doing well out there. Taurus, we're kicking open the gate to the bullpen. I hope the Bulls don't come rushing out or rushing in, but there may be some anticipation kind of twinkled in with, little bits of uncertainty and anxiety, but that makes part of the magic of the fun. So I see this month for you, a sign of Taurus, being, one in which you can look in optimism and as well from a perpetual congratulatory phase of patting yourself on the backs for jobs well done. So I got your cards. I got the cards shuffled. Let's shuffle them up one more time for the sign of Taurus, and then we'll jump back on the mic. And thanks to everybody that's joined in the chat. Taurus, your October tarot reading was filmed before a live studio audience, and I hope you don't mind. All right, Taurus. It feels like being on limbo, being on the fence, being stable in all ways, but why so tippy? Why feeling so tippy-toppy? Why does it feel like it all could just disappear in the in the blink of an eye, right? Let's see what goes on. Hey, there's the Fool right off the hop for us. So that is that feeling I just described. It's a completed feeling. Give yourself a pat on the back for that. But it is like a very much anticipatory where do we go from here moment, or I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, I'm waiting to hear news. And the Fool can always be about that. His path is very willy-nilly as he begins his journey, and usually in accordance to any kind of movie that you watch, or the hero's journey as it starts, the hero usually begins as a fool, and it takes outside force to sort of shake him up, or to say, all right, your path was willy-nilly, you were kind of wandering aimlessly about. And then an outside influence either made you pay attention or kind of, shaped your way, shaped an attitude, shaped a fundamental belief in yourself, and it shapes your journey as a result of it. Now, with the Fool card here for you for the month of October, this is saying there's no need to go out of your way. There's no need to try to over-influence situations. There's no need to be like a driving leader if it's taking too much of your energy. It's time for you to sit and watch kind of the manifestations of your creation and the loved ones and the people around you take center stage, have their turn, go forthwith, or do whatever they may, right? And do this from this loving place of higher observance or silent witnessing, which the Fool is accustomed to, being able to kind of perceive all that's there in front of him and saying, well, I can choose now, being the zero, being the Fool. I have choice now whether or not I choose to allow this to influence me, to direct my path, to shape my path. So for some of you, it could be the initial talks of, creating ideas or plans together with a partnership, with a lover, with anybody. It might be time to sit down and the collective mind being greater than two separate minds. So some of you may be entering into new and different discussions with the people closest to you. So what the Fool can represent for October. Remember, it only takes a minute to pray, a second to die, and approximately 100 years to learn how to love yourself. So when we see the Fool card up here as a major arcana, it's like, the only way he sings this song on the way to the top, he keeps looking out for number one, right? And that's you, Taurus, right? But there's no need for you to push that or to influence that or to make any bold moves at this time. Allow the environment to settle down around you so that your path can be defined and you don't step off the cliff, right? Like the old mundane version of the Fool, okay? Now we're looking at a reversal of a Temperance card coming up here. So middle of the month could have you feeling a little bit moody. A little bit of binary forces or laws of polarity could be playing into your situation and for some of you, it just could be a sense where you're feeling out of sorts for a few weeks. Hopefully it's not cough due to cold or anything like that. My Taurus friends, I want to give you a big hug. Anybody out there struggling with any kind of health issues. And for others of you, this reversal on the Temperance card, this is about figuring out how you can be happy amidst all what's happened this year, amidst all the craziness, because now we're hearing stories sort of subtly being like, well, the whole world's back at work and everything's back to normal, and you're like, wait a minute, no, doesn't just happen that quick overnight. Or perhaps you're unlucky enough to be in one of these idiotically run places where they still won't let you go to a place where you can worship or meditate, or where you go to just unwind and release, and that can lead to heavy hearts and some moodiness. So hopefully that's not affecting you here in these general readings. But 2 major arcana right off the start here. So for some of you, this could play out that a big change may leave you feeling a little bit upset, or somebody in your environment may be acting like a fool and decide to do something that you don't agree with, which also could make you a little bit moody. But again, remember, I feel it's not the time to push. It's time for the people in the environment around you to show them, to expose or reveal themselves to you, Taurus, for the clear understanding. And when it does, it's a clear reminder that you allowed it by not interjecting, not pushing. And that, in essence, is the greatest gift of karma you can give to people, or to go with the flow. So just one of those things to remember. Boom. And the major arcana just keep coming this month. Holy moly. Now it looks like for some of our October energies for a sign of Taurus, by the time the sun is ready to go opposite Taurus over there in Scorpio, the Chariot card plays out. Okay, for some of you, this will be about the purchase of a new automobile, the trading in of an old automobile. Some of you will be upgrading. It doesn't have to be an automobile, but some of you may be upgrading locations. And things in your life. Maybe it's time for a new cell phone. Maybe it's time for, and these purchases kind of come in this Q3 time where you can get out ahead of it and make sure you're staying ahead financially, staying ahead with health, staying ahead on all these subjects. The Chariot card is just screaming to me here, but that this transit is going to be about staying one step ahead, because it's almost as though you can feel life change. You can feel that tippy tottery turning point that I was talking about earlier, right? Amidst all that stability. So some of you, it's about staying ahead of it. And again, the symbology here is of the 2 equally powered, equally drawn horses of the Chariot needing to render balance and cannot be of opposing minds. So some of you, I feel, really struggling with the minds of the people that are closest to you. Hopefully that's not too in-depth. For some of you, this is just a situation. If you were concerned or here for loving relationships, it looks like things with Sagittarius may be not going so well this month. But again, over here, for those of you with lovers and friends and companions in the sign of Cancer, it could lead to more harmonious times for Taurus, which is really exciting. I like that we see the sun in the sky in this Fool card. It lets me know that from the beginning, your mindset is sort of above, and troubles or any kind of adversity, trickle in as it may, you're going to be quick to trample over it, as long as you don't, in the long run or in the short run, become frustrated. Holy smokes. Now we've got a reversal on the star card. And that's 4 for 4 major arcana for you here on October. 2 right side up, 2 downside. And the star and the temperance, be careful not to lose your temper with people this month, I feel, Taurus. And remember, the condition that you set for your mental moods and your mental temperaments, these are conditions, some of which you should have a lot of control over, because, those conditioned things which, lead to stuff that, ends up needing to be sorted out, they came from a place a long time ago. They are kind of like ingrained in who you are. So remember sometimes to rise above generalizations, rise above the broad brush that's used to paint situations or people, either by society or from your own mind, Taurus, because that's sort of the playing field. That's sort of the coliseum in which the Chariot runs for you this month, because if you tend to overthink it, you're going to want to interject and push into the situation, where the cards, especially with the Fool here, really saying you're best to stand back, let sleeping dogs lie, let everybody figure it out for themselves. You're actually honestly asking yourself, well, what burden of this, what level of control am I burdening myself with? Can I release it? Can I give it up? And is it okay to have maybe less of a place, less of a position in particular situations or venues or conversations, just to allow other people's, isness to come out, so that it's not a foregone conclusions and things leading to, things like ill temperament or being in a bad mood, Taurus. I would hate if there was a bull absolutely upset with me. I don't know if I couldn't stand a fight. I'd have to run. But we don't want to send people running, Taurus, and that's just it. Get done what you got to get done, and look to like all of these sort of upgrades and things that you can do for yourself to take your mind off of bigger situations that need to unfold without you overthinking them, and that will go a long ways for you in October. All right, lots of love, Taurus. We'll see you again really soon.